Recording in progress.
Good morning, everyone. This is Fellowship of Spirit in beautiful Farmington, New Mexico, and we're celebrating summer solstice and Father's Day and no rain, and we're all running late today. Well, except for Ron. Ron was here on time. But the rest of us, we were all running a little bit late, so excuse us for being a little tardy, but welcome, and I hope that you are having a blessed week as we are. Our mission is to positively affect the world by extending peace, love, spirituality, understanding, and friendship to all people with grace and gratitude. Our vision is to be a spiritual center of awakening the I Am Christ consciousness, and membership is open to everyone. Can you hear me okay, Mark?
Yes, just fine.
Okay, is there any echo?
No.
Okay, good. We have our own Ron Holloway with us today in person, so we're very blessed that he could get out and come. We're hanging in here, and we have no guests. So I would like to welcome Shay, who was going to do our prelude. I brought my spirit to the sea. Interesting title. I like that.
Yes, I took songs out of the Unitarian hymnal today,
Okay.
so they're a little different. I brought my spirit to the sea. I stood upon the shore. I gazed upon infinity. I heard the waters roar. And then there came a sense of peace. Some whisper calmed my soul. Some ancient ministry of stars had made my spirit whole. I brought my spirit to the trees that loomed against the sky. I touched each wandering careless breeze to know his God was nigh. And then I felt an inner flame that fiercely burned my tears. Upright I rose from bended knee to meet the asking years.
Thank you, Shay. If you'll breathe deeply along with me, and I will read off this prayer from, I think this was from Bonnie. Father, we do not know the way to you, but we have called, and you have answered. Our hands are open to receive your gifts, and it is you we give thanks. Yours is the way we would find and follow. We ask that your will, which is our own as well, be done in us and in the world. And so it is. Namaste. Okay, and we have another song. The Sun That Shines.
The sun that shines across the sea, the wind that whispers in the tree, the lark that carols in the sky, the fleecy clouds a sailing by. Oh, I'm as rich can be.
Did you know that Jane Boston
For
has
all
said,
these things belong
Thank
to
you.
me. The raindrops which refresh the earth, the springtime mantle of rebirth, the summer days when all things grow, the autumn mist, the winter snow. Oh, I'm as rich can be. And for all these things belong to me. The task well done, the fun of play, sleep when each day ends, the joy of family and friends. Oh, I'm as rich can be, for all these things belong to me.
Thank you, Shay. Beautiful. Steve just informed me, gave me some information. We had been kind of concerned about Jane Voss, who is Hoyle Osborne's partner, and evidently she did pass yesterday. We had not had any updates as to her illnesses, and so we were unaware that she was at that state. So when we do our spiritual treatment in a little bit, we'll put her in there also so that she has safe passage. If you read along in your bulletin with me, our reflective moment. Love produces a flow of energy that I now feel. I love others more than ever, and I feel privileged to be here. Love flows from one person to another as we create an atmosphere of holiness, and so it is. And if Kate will do our spiritual energy treatment.
I love Jane. I hope I can do this.
I'm sorry, didn't mean to throw that on you.
Well, I knew about it, but
It's still not easy to.
so, and I feel like she's here. She's made safe passage. She wants you to know she's made safe passage. And since this is summer solstice, I wanted to do something a little different. So everyone who can stand, and those who are sitting, you can do this in sitting as well. So you can stand or remain seated. And we're just going to center ourselves, take some deep breaths, nice couple of deep breaths. And I was thinking about summer solstice and what it means to me and the different seasons and cycles that Mother Earth goes through. I'm celebrating in my own life. I'm learning to celebrate in my own life. And so as I celebrate Mother Earth and her cycles and her seasons, I am learning that I also am able to plug in and resonate with her and help make us both smoother navigation. It creates a smoother sailing for both of us, Mother Earth and everything that else is involved. One other thing that I learned about, and I'm learning, is that every single thing that we do creates chi if we do it with awareness. So I was picturing myself standing at the stove, stirring something, and the fact that I was doing it with awareness was creating a beautiful, loving energy that I was able to keep within myself and give away. And of course, we all know that the more we give away, the more we bring back into our lives. So back to Mother Earth, I was thinking about water. I've been thinking about water a lot. And so what I would like to do is, in Qigong, it's called a waterfall. And I'll just demonstrate it at first. And we'll send out the intention of bringing rainfall into this region in a undestructive and nurturing and thriving fashion. So that would be my intent as I send out this energy. And we're going to just create a flow of energy by creating a waterfall. And I'm just going to bring the rain down like this. So remembering the intention. Nice deep breath up. As we come down, we exhale. Picture yourself standing in the rain. So that reminds me, if you're standing in the rain, you're probably smiling. So you want to smile and put your tip of your tongue at the top of your mouth in between your two front teeth. So it's in between your two front teeth. We'll just keep going in this fashion. Okay, so we're creating a chi, an energy, and we're going to send it out. We're building it up within ourselves. We're grateful. We're thankful. We're worshiping the water cycles. We're worshiping the Mother Earth and her rain cycles. Okay, and now we're going to reverse. We're going to bring it up through the ground. You can almost hear the rain coming down. Okay, 2 more of these. And then we're going to stand in a standing tree meditation. We're going to come up and stand rooted. We're rooting ourselves into the ground. And as we breathe deep and inhale and exhale, we're going to send chi to those who will benefit from it, whose hearts are open and ready to receive. And we're thinking of Hoyle, and we're grateful for Jane and her transition and what she's probably doing and witnessing right now. So if you want, you can close your fingers, take some deep breaths, sending it out for all good, for the good of ourselves and the good of others. Thank you for creating and sharing chi with me. Namaste. Thank you.
And thank you for helping us to remember. Whoops. You're still in the pocket. Helping us to remember to breathe deeply. We were talking about that just a moment ago, Ron and I were. And it's so important to remember to breathe into your belly, not just shallow breathe, but breathe deeply. And so this meditation, this healing meditation is a good way to remember this. Okay, let me get this situated. It's in the wrong place. There we go. Okay. All right. We have a spiritual reading. Does anybody have one? Or if not, I do. Do you? Okay. Shay has one for us. You want to use your microphone? Okay.
This is a letter from Elizabeth Gilbert. Her series on asking love questions. Today the question is, what would you have me know about struggles? Dearest resting peacock with your tail feathers down and your tired eyes, can we try to explain something to you, our brave little weary explorer? Will you sit with us quietly and listen? For we share with you from the bottom of the vaults of love itself, and what we have to show you is so important. You know that asinine phrase that people often tell others who are going through a horrible ordeal? You know the phrase, God never gives you more than you can handle. You know the gut-punching feeling of being told this when you're struggling, the insult of it, the way it makes you feel like you could rightfully punch the other person in the throat to stop them from ever saying that to somebody again? Of course you do. And by the way, sweetheart, please don't ever say those words to anyone, obviously. It's so brutal and aggressive for someone to be told that when they feel they are holding onto existence by a broken fingernail. And usually the reason somebody says that God never gives you more than you can handle is because they themselves are terrified of the person's struggle and they want it to go away. But now lean in, because we want to tell you, just you, our baby, something gently magical. That statement that God never gives you more than you can handle is in your life, in fact, the truth. For you, my love, it is true. God has never given you more than you can handle. Wait, don't run away. Don't punch us in the throat. Listen, little sparrow, with your racing heartbeat. Lean in and listen. Let's backwards engineer that statement. Let's do a little open-minded examination of those words, shall we? If it is true that God never gives you more than you could handle, could it possibly be true that all those times in life when you were struggling through something so hard that you could not, in fact, handle it, that God had not, in fact, given it to you? Could it be that you had given it to you, that you had picked it up, tried it on, taken it on, adopted it, tried to solve it, tried to have it, tried to fix it, manage it, control it, tried to change something, tried to force something, tried to make something happen or not happen, tried simply to be something or somebody that you could not handle? Could it be that you had picked up some kind of idea of how things should or should not be, and you were fighting against those ideas with all your might and will, and that was the basis of all your struggle? Could it be? Stay with us, little feathers, stay with us. Stay with us even more and trust us. What we are telling you is a gift, not a curse. From where we sit in the infinite cosmos of unconditional love, it looks to us like struggle is a combination of two very human emotional forces, fear and the need to control. Mix those two forces together and throw them at reality, and you will instantly begin struggling. Big struggles, small struggles, what if they are all just battlefields concocted from fear and the need to control? For just a moment, sit quietly and think about the biggest struggle you are facing in your life right now. You don't have to name it out loud, for we know that it is private and heavy. But just pull the thought of the biggest struggle you're going through into your mind, which should be easy because it's never very far from your mind, and hold it there. Now let's do a little experiment together. Look at that situation of struggle that you're in, and just for a moment, remove from the story all your fear and all your need to control. Just take those two things out just for a moment. You can put the fear and control back later if you want to, but just imagine for one moment what it would be like if you did not need to bring fear and control into the situation anymore. When you take the fear and control away from the situation, what remains? Sit with us and feel your way into the answer. Interesting. You thought the answer would be love. You thought the answer would be love, but that's not what arose in your consciousness, is it, little dove? When you imagined lifting the fear and control away from your toughest situation in life right now, you saw what remained, and it was one word: life. You just saw life, life happening, life in motion, life telling its own story, life without any particular outcome needed. Life in all its beauty and wonder. Maybe that's all that has been given to you by God, just life. And maybe if you release your fear and the need to control, you can, in fact, handle life. Because perhaps there is nothing to handle. There's just something to observe. Please understand that the moment you add fear and the need to control back into any situation, it will become immediately unmanageable again. Struggle will follow promptly, and you will lose that battle. You always lose the struggle battle. You will collapse into stress, despair, and overwhelm and anger, but only always and only instantly. You were taught by your culture, by your family, and by the historical moment in which you were born that you're supposed to be a badass, a girl boss, a powerful manifester, a mover and a shaker, a champagne supernova in the sky. And yes, we did just quote the Gallagher brothers, a first for us. And you innocently believed it. You were taught that life is a battlefield and you're supposed to set your sights for victory, dominance, power, success, influence. You were taught to be vigilant, to keep your head on a swivel, to grab opportunities and make the most of them, to never let them see you sweat. Most of all, my love, you were taught that you should always be in control. But what if you can't actually handle that? And what if we never asked you to do any of those ambitious and impossible things? What if nobody can handle all that? Look around. This model doesn't seem to be working for anyone, even the ones who appear to be winning. Look closer and you will see their struggle. You will see their fear. You'll certainly see their need to control. You were given life, sweetheart, that's all. Life is a gift so strange and rare and beautiful that souls wait for eternal eons to get a run at experiencing it, to embody, to have senses, to take form, to feel, to experience. Life is not something to be fixed, managed, controlled, or God help us, won. It is just something to be experienced. To experience everything, all the pairs of opposites, beauty and ugliness, pain and pleasure, gain and loss, joy and failure, togetherness and loneliness, birth and death. What if there is nothing to win, nothing to fear, nothing to control? Would the struggle end if you understood that? What if you just lived, little one, instead of struggling? Can you handle that? We kind of think you can. That's all for now, but we'll keep this conversation going forever, Angel. You're on the right track. You're beginning to get it. Rest now.
Thank you, Shay. I love that lady's wisdom, and I love her use of the little things that she calls people. Yeah. I think it's precious. I really do. And that was my life before. Fellowship welcomed me into its arms, and before Course in Miracles freed my mind, and before I reached the ability to be able to find a better thought, always. And for me, finding a better thought has been the answer all along. And so between everybody that talks about all these different things and reminds me of how it can be. So thank you very much. And we have a song, What Is This Life?
What is this life if full of care? We have no time to stand and stare, no time to stand beneath the boughs and stare as long as sheep or cows. No time to see when woods we pass, where squirrels hide their nuts in grass. No time to see in broad daylight streams full of stars like stars at night. No time to turn at beauty's glance and watch her feet how they can dance. A poor life this if full of care. We have no time to stand and stare.
Thank you, Shay. I would like to welcome Mark Wolf, who is a long way away and hopefully not suffering too much in this weather that we've been seeing back east. I hope that you're not afloat. Anyway, he is going to tell us about there is seeing and then there's seeing. So if you would please welcome Mark Wolf, and let's hear what he has to say. Welcome, Mark.
Thanks, Jerry. Well, good morning, Fellowship Spirit. All the way out west in beautiful Farmington, New Mexico, the soul of the Four Corners. It is a beautiful day. It really is a beautiful day up here in Northern. Very welcome. After a week of high humidity and storms. And what a great day this is, seriously. And of course, it's Father's Day. It's a very special day to recognize and celebrate the father figures in our lives. Because listen, fathers are important and dads matter. And this is a special day to be grateful for the men who contributed to our path, to our lives. A dear brother, a favorite uncle, a mentor, a teacher, a coach. The masculine principle in our spiritual infrastructure is sometimes identified with the sunlight, as well as with the sun in the sky. So how perfect this is. And now it's the solstice. Not only that, it is the solstice, the first day of the summer season up here in the Northern Hemisphere. Just last night, I was looking at some pictures I have of summer solstice with Fellowship of Spirit in years past, and who was there but Jane Voss with her guitar. That was last night. What a nice thing to see that picture. So we are completely flooded with the sunlight. And at this time of the year, and the day, I love it. The daylight just kind of lingers, doesn't quite go away until like 10 o'clock. I love it. And solstice itself is a very interesting word. Not surprisingly, it's Latin. Solstice, this is a little hard to say. Solstice literally means sun stands still. Now, our ancestors, all over the world, the indigenous folk all over the world, watch the sunrise every morning. And starting on the winter solstice back in December, they would watch the sunrise a little bit farther north on the horizon every morning, a little farther north, a little farther north, a little more north, and then on the summer solstice, meaning today, they would watch as the sun appeared to stand still for a few days and then begin its trip backwards, rising a little farther south and a little farther south each morning. And then they would see the sun pause again in December and start the cycle all over again. And so here we are today on the very day that the sun pauses on the horizon. And as I said, our world becomes flooded with light. And in the brightness of the summer sunshine, we're able to see the world around us much more clearly than ever before. Well, there is seeing, and then there's seeing, right? Ironically, and it's paradox. And spiritual truth most often comes clothed in a paradox. Now, the paradox is that at this time of bright physical sunlight, the spiritual light is harder to see. In December, when the physical sunlight becomes scarce and the physical world starts to be in darkness, then the spiritual light becomes easier to see. Well, there is seeing, and then there's seeing. Speaking of which, on the Jewish calendar, this is now the month of Tammuz. The month of Tammuz is said by the teachers of the Kabbalah to correspond to the eyes and to the sense of sight. So you know how perfect that is, and yet it doesn't make any sense. Because in one sense, in the month of Tammuz, there's plenty of sunlight and plenty of hours of daylight, with no shortage. And the physical world is very easy to see. But we know that our greatest blessings exist in the spiritual world. And we must see those blessings with our spiritual eyes. We must open our spiritual eyes. And I believe that this month of Tammuz, we can take advantage of this special spiritual window that's open very wide at this time of the year. And with that window open, we can see the miracles. We can see the blessings. We can see that in a way that makes them manifest much more easily and much more quickly. Now, that's because when we look within, and we get quiet, and we look within in our spiritual practices, what we see is basically what we're going to manifest. Now, this is what the rabbi meant. When the rabbi said, this is Matthew chapter 6, he said, if thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. But if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. In other words, there's seeing, and then there's seeing. If thine eye be single, and that sounds so spiritual and everything, but what does it mean? Now, some teachers say that this refers to the brow chakra, the ajna center, the spiritual center, the spiritual center between our eyebrows. And that's an interesting teaching. But this morning, we're going to take it in a totally new direction and a different direction. So, if your eye is single, okay, so the Genesis story, perfect place to start. We were given, in the Genesis story, we were given the default setting of reality called Tree of Life. Okay, that was the default. And in Tree of Life, everything is connected, like a giant multi-dimensional web. You know, everything is connected. And not only that, we could perceive the connection and the oneness, and we could perceive that quality of connection within everything. And in that reality, our eye was naturally single because our connection to God was obvious. And spiritual light was the default setting. Tree of Life, okay? One life. Not Tree of Lives, but Tree of Life. One life. And our eye was single, and so our whole body, meaning our world of experience, was full of spiritual light, okay? Because spiritual light is ultimately the reality. Spiritual light is what causes things in the physical world. And in Tree of Life, that singleness of light was our reality. Well, we rejected the Tree of Life and chose instead the Tree of Knowledge of Good and Evil. And suddenly, the spiritual light became hidden. It was no longer our default experience. In Tree of Knowledge, sometimes the spiritual light was very obvious, and sometimes not so much. Sometimes we were happy, and sometimes we were sad, but love was no longer just everywhere. You know, we could be in a like we can be in a loving relationship, but love, like everything else, it can end. The appearance of it, the experience of it, can end. So it's both good and bad. That was the new default setting that we were going to have to live with. And that duality became manifest. It became manifest because we have two eyes. And the rabbi said, if thine eye be single. So what he's saying is that when our life is in the tree of, when our experience is rooted in the Tree of Life reality, then our world is full of blessings. Okay? Now listen, your eye is single. Okay, that doesn't make any sense if we have two eyes. We don't have a single eye because we have a pair, but we need to have a perception that is single. In other words, like this. Okay, my pair of eyes, looks out at the world, and what do you see? I see good and evil, day and night, men and women, black and white. It's kind of a little poem, but all of that is just what our world looks like. That's just what it looks like. And as long as I see out there, what I'm perceiving is separation and division and ending, well, that's not going to bring the blessings of light into my experience. We're going to have to shift our perception. The rabbi said the eye has to be single. So if I look out there and I see good and evil, then I have to turn away from that, turn away from what I see with my two eyes and look within myself. Then my eye starts to become single. There, you can perceive the love. Again, that amazing Qigong meditation practice. You can see the love, you can see the peace, the connection, and that's Tree of Life. We have access to it, but it's not like we're no longer allowed to have access to Tree of Life. It's just not the default setting, unless we flip the switch. And today we're going to do that. I'm going to show you how to do it. Now, often people will say, well, yeah, but I get quiet and look inside myself, and I don't find love and peace and connection. And people might say, well, when I look within myself, I see anger, and I see fear, and sadness. Just like in that amazing spiritual reading. And to some degree, we can all say that. We all have negativity. Listen, if you got feet on the ground, you got negativity that needs to be dealt with. Okay? Anger and fear and control, all right? And disappointment and jealousy. But here's the miracle. Here's the spiritual teaching. Okay? Listen. Anger, let me tell you a story. Anger is love wearing a scary mask. All right? Fear is love wearing a scary mask. Control is love wearing a scary mask. And where we find fear or we find jealousy, then what we're really finding is a gift. It's just wrapped up real tight and we have to unwrap it, okay? Because listen, there's seeing. And then there's seeing. We can look within and we can see the negativity. Okay, it's okay. We can look within and we can see, we can remember where we have hurt people. And we can see where we have been unkind. We have been ungenerous. But that's seeing. That's seeing with our vision based on two eyes. We have to look again, and see with that single eye. And that flips everything around. So it sounds great. Oh, it's so spiritual and everything. Oh, it's Sunday morning. What does it mean? Okay, well, first, that negative stuff that we find within ourselves really is seriously, it is a great gift. Within that darkness are the blessings that we have prayed for. Within that darkness, the fear that we see inside is the very light that this whole world is hungry for. Follow me now, all right? The rabbi said something kind of strange. I mean, imagine that, right? The rabbi said, just John chapter 9, I have come to the world for judgment, so that they who cannot see can see, and those who do see can become blind. Okay, well, again, this is all amazing and very spiritual, but what is it we're seeing? What are we talking about? What is it referring to when he talks about seeing? He's referring to spiritual light. Here's the paradox. Once again, the paradox, to look within and see the negativity and to see the anger and the addiction and the fear, that requires courage. Okay? It requires honesty, and it very certainly requires humility and a desire to transform. The paradox is that you have to be connected to the Creator's light in order to see the darkness. And the rabbi is saying something that's really very exciting. He's telling us that when we look within and we're not able to see the light, we're not able to see the love, we're not able to see the power, there is spiritual light that's standing by to help us. That's exciting. It really is. The blessing is hidden. It is wrapped up, it is concealed in the fear. The miracle is standing behind the disappointment. The healing is right there. It is just on the other side of the anger. Because all there is the Creator's light and the Creator's love. But that's seeing with a single eye. The beauty and the power and the perfection are the Creator within us, the Creator being us. But there's another part to this. The rabbi said that they who do see can become blind. And that part's a little scary, What he's saying is that when people look at the world, they look at the world with the two eyes, like we do. And we believe in what we see out there, believing in the division and the anger and all of this negativity. We're believing in what we see. Is when you do that, then what happens is that spiritual sight within starts to become blind. It starts to atrophy. This teaching is summarized very beautifully, just in a few words. It's summarized beautifully in one of the New Testament writings. Listen to what Paul says in his letter to the Christian community in Corinth. He says, and somebody's already thinking of this, he says, we walk by faith and not by sight. And we like to quote it. Well, walk by faith. And it sounds all so wise and so elevated, but what does it mean? Let's reverse engineer this. We. That means all of us together. All of us together. We walk. That means that we move forward together. By faith and not by sight, it means this has to happen through our inner connection to God, through our inner connection to the light, the inner connection to the I am, and our certainty in the power of light within us. It's what we believe about ourselves, what we believe about ourselves in our heart, and And all of this is important, but we have to see with more than our two eyes. So, what are we talking about here? Listen, the inner consciousness, that sum total of everything that we believe and think about ourselves, plus who we really are. That's our consciousness. And that consciousness has power, and it has authority and over what's out there. And all that's out there, both the good, the evil, all of that out there came from what is within here. And what we do not see has authority over what we do see. That's the most amazing thing of all. And it was because, what did I say? There's seeing, and then there's seeing. Okay, so let's go back. Let's circle back. How do we unmask all those blessings, those miracles, the healing? You know, the light of prosperity hidden behind the dark mask of lack and fear. Love behind the appearance of hate and intolerance. You know, all of that. How do we do that? Okay, I'm going to share two things with you, both of which are profound and powerful and real. Not just pretty words, not symbolic. Well, you know, it's just symbolic. No, it's not. It's real. It is as real as you and me, and even more so. All right? One teaching comes from the rabbi who showed us the Son of God. One teaching comes from the action of the sun in the sky on this first day of summer, the solstice. So here's the issue. By looking within, with love and courage, we find the negative stuff. Okay? We're alive in the world. We got negative stuff. The negative stuff hides healing. It hides the love. It hides the miracles. So I'm going to give you the key. I mean, seriously. It takes strength to turn the key. But this is what the rabbi taught us. We're going to look at it in a new way. Luke chapter 6, he said, "But I say unto you, love your enemies. Do good to them who hate you. Bless them that curse you, and pray for them who use you spitefully." Now, this is an astonishing teaching, no matter how you look at it. But it is a teaching of miracles when we turn it around backwards and use it on ourselves. Because listen, the enemy is not out there. The enemy is within ourselves. So listen to this. Paul, in his letter to the Christian community in Rome, said in chapter 12, in the book of Romans, he says, "Bless them who persecute you." Bless them. Don't curse them. It's that simple. The negative things we see within ourselves, all of it, it is a reaction. This is important. The negative stuff that we see within ourselves is a reaction to the perception of someone doing something negative in the world. All right? Someone out there made us afraid. Someone out there taught us to push love away. Someone out there taught us to be afraid of money. Somebody out there taught us to be afraid of the world, to be afraid of people. And we were betrayed. We were lied to. We were used and discarded. And yes, we were victimized. But now, it's time to rise to the highest level of our soul. This is for real. Embrace the Creator's highest light within you and bless the soul of the person who hurt you. Yes. Take on yourself the authority of the divinity within and dare to bless the soul of the person who brought you pain and chaos. It is incredibly healing. You start to run with this, it is incredibly healing. Because here's what happens. Here's the actual, what actually happens. Because your blessing makes the appearance of darkness split apart. And the light that is hidden within it shines forth. You just unwrap the gift. That's all. The blessing, the healing, the miracle, the guidance, the direction, the way forward, the removal of an obstacle. What you saw as darkness, what you saw as an obstacle, as a scary thing, it's light. It's light. Because why? Because there's seeing, and then there's seeing. And when you listen, when you use the pain that someone else has brought you, and you use that as a tool to connect to the highest light within you, that is victory. All right? That is the ultimate victory of light over darkness. It is sharing. Okay? You bless the soul of the person who brought you pain. You share in the victory of the rabbi who blessed the people who killed him. That's how powerful this is. Unmasking the negativity. That's the teaching of the rabbi who showed us the Son of God. The second teaching is just as amazing. It is a teaching of the sun in the sky on this day of solstice. So, what is the meaning of solstice? This is a pop test. It is Latin. It means the sun stands still. In other words, the sun in the sky pauses in its movement on the horizon. That's the teaching. Pause. Just pause. Okay? Before reacting, before coming back with a reaction and what you want to say and what do you pause. Just pause with the intention of injecting love into what comes next. Okay? Pause before reacting. Inject the light. Insert the love. Okay? Pause and let the light be the next thing that happens. Let the light be the reaction. All right? Instead of seeing your ego reaction as being the next thing, instead see the light as the next thing that happens here in this interaction. This is a spiritual practice. Okay, this is, in other words, it's nice to go home and affirm it a couple times and then move on. That's knowledge. We don't need that. Okay, we need power. This is power. But it's incredibly powerful. But it's a spiritual practice. It is a form of meditation. And you can do this all day long. So when you insert love in front of your reaction, what you're doing is to make this declaration. It is to say, I trust that the light of the Creator, I trust the light of the Creator more than the judgment of my ego. Okay? You pause and inject that pause, that light before your reaction. It is saying, I trust the light of the Creator more than the judgment of my ego, and that is the most powerful affirmation I can think of. As a practice, I mean, it's an amazing affirmation, but as a practice, it is life-changing, all right? Because listen, here's the thing, nobody's healed alone. We know that. Because when each one of us dares to see the power within us, we make the light stronger throughout the world, okay? When we bless the soul of the person who brought us pain and who hurt us, then what we have become is like the noonday sun on the solstice. It brings that much light. And we bring that much light into the world. That means that the darkness is that much weaker and smaller. That's what we're here for. Okay? It brings out that much light. Your light, listen, your light is important. Okay? Your light is part of what makes the dark world brighter. You are needed. Wherever you are and whoever you are needed and you are important. Your light is what we need right now. It is the solstice. See the light within you, brighter than the light in the sky. This is amazing. I'm so happy to share it with you. Jerry, back to you.
Thank you, Mark. You've given us a challenge.
Yeah, I know.
And I love that, because it's important that we were reminded of what we're supposed to be. And so thank you for the challenge. Anybody else have anything they'd like to share with Mark?
I miss his Kabbalah classes.
Yes.
Say again.
Renee said she misses the Kabbalah classes.
I miss Renee.
We do too. Jim and Renee have joined us today, which is a pleasure.
And Ron is here too. He's sitting there in the back. So, from the very first of your lesson there, seeing with one eye, I can attest to that. When I was a drinking man, the only way I could drive was by closing one eye. And that brought the truth of the road. But yes, pausing, that is the greatest lesson to me. I have learned to pause and wait for the light. I thank you for reiterating that. Wish you were here.
Me too.
Anybody else have anything they'd like to share? Okay. Mark, as always, we appreciate your words of wisdom and the challenge that you give us. It's important. We don't want to sit back and rest on our laurels at all.
No, we can't afford to do that, not anymore.
No, we cannot. And so thank you very much. And we have a song by Shay, The Sweet June Days.
The sweet June days are come again, once more the glad earth yields its golden wealth of ripening grain and breath of clover fields, and evening shade of summer woods, and glow of summer air, and winging thoughts and happy moods of love and joy and prayer. The sweet June days are come again, the birds are on the wing, bright anthems in their merry strain, unconsciously they sing. Oh, how our cup o'erbrims with good these happy summer days, for all the joys of field and wood we lift our song of praise.
Thank you, Shay. Beautiful song for a great day. Yes. Okay, if you will take your offerings in your hand and place them over your heart and read along with me. Our celebration of abundance. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Through infinity, I am prosperous. And so I'm glad to see so many people here to share our summer solstice with us. We've decided to do this instead of having the picnic in the park, and it's nice to see everybody, and I hope you are planning on staying and having a snack and sharing with us what your thoughts are. We don't have any children. They're off and running again. I don't know if it's their parents or themselves that make everybody stay busy, but they are busy this summer. And
Jerry?
so we have, yes,
Excuse me one second. This is a message for Renee.
okay.
Okay, you need to pop into Facebook and do a little teensy search. David Guillaume. David. David. GHIYAM. Okay?
I wrote it down for you, Renee. Okay, thank you, Mark.
The most astonishing teacher of the Kabbalah I know right now. So,
Cool.
pardon the interruption.
No, thank you. We love it when you share stuff with us. Okay, and we have some words of wisdom to get us out of here from Bill Clark and his little book.
Good morning, everyone.
Wait a minute.
Good morning, everyone. Today's topic is sleep on it. It is a common experience that a problem difficult at night is resolved in the morning after a committee of the sleep has worked on it. Quote from John Steinbeck. What is it that happens to us when overnight that allows us to come into such sharp focus in the morning? Whatever occurs biochemically, it works. What a mercy it is to sleep on it. We feel worn out right now, and that colors our perspective. We can release ourselves to rest. We're not going to solve the problems of the world tonight. In the morning, we'll have the energy and the clarity to think through. We'll also have better ability to figure out what parts of the problem are really truly our responsibility. The walkaway is, I can let myself sink into sleep now. Staying up won't make my problem solve itself any sooner. It might even make it loom worse if my thoughts. I release it now, and I'm trusting that it'll be much clearer in the morning with a well-rested mind. So let's have a wonderful week. God bless, and stay out of the heat.
Thank you, Bill. And with that, if you'll join me up front, we'll sing our way out of here, and I hope you all have a blessed week. Yeah, watch the toes. Okay. 1, 2, 3. God bless America,
land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Weave us together, weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together, weave us together in unity and yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as our Father, family all are we. So let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Thank you all for being here, and have a blessed week. We'll see you next week.
Right on.
Got it. Happy my Father's
That
Day.
our fathers, we thank you for this Father's
Yes.
Day. It's a dual-purpose day.
Yeah, that's
It
right.
is. I really like it.
Yes.
Celebrating the sun and celebrating fathers. Hey, nice.
Equally
Guys.